Alright guys, welcome to Ask a Puppy Trainer Show, episode 165. And Maribel, if you're watching, special shout out to you. Alright, perfect. So my name is Sparky, I'm from Puppy Academy, and we actually have a ton of questions today. They also have the highlighted note, so I'm going to read it really quick. We have a special announcement. Next week, Wednesday, September 4th at 1:45 Pacific time, we have our next live Ask a Vet show. So that's where we actually bring in a vet. We do like a little Q&A with them. It's like a little interview. It's really fun. It was exciting. Bethany did a great job. I probably won't be as good as she was because she's more of an actor than I am. And the topic will be puppies' teeth. So preventive dental health for puppies. And you guys can submit questions for that and join us live to get your question answered by our expert vet we have joining us. So if you guys want to throw any questions, and some really good ones I know are, how long should you brush your dog's teeth? How long or how much time for each tooth? If we see bleeding of the gums, what does that mean? There's a lot of different things that you could ask. Throw in some questions if I just said some that you didn't think about. Yeah, not today. Do they have to email them? What do? Do they email them in or what?
They can submit them next week during the live show.
Okay, you have to submit them next week during the live. Don't pre-submit like this because we won't look at them. Right? Okay. Yeah, we're all on the same page now, right? Same page. All right, let's start with, we got some good ones. I want to answer the Zoomie question. So it's going to be a Zoomie question, but there's definitely been some, it was one of our posts. I don't know how the post started, but a lot of people kind of jumped on the bandwagon, added to the...
It was a video talking about aggressive Zoomies.
Oh, it was talking about aggressive Zoomies or maybe even like destructive Zoomies. So... someone said, mine has Zoomie attacks right after eating, recommendations, and some other people even stated, we love Zoomies, like we think it's super cute and we actually love when our dog does the Zoomies. I have no issue with Zoomies. Even in that video that we posted, we have no issues with Zoomies if they're controllable. That's a big factor. So let's start with, made up with Missy's question. Mine has the Zoomie attacks right after eating, recommendation. Just have them drag a leash on them. So when you're feeding your dog their food, it can create a lot of excitement. They can get overexcited and do Zoomies right after. A big concern of mine with Zoomies right after eating is that there is something called bloat. It's literally a dog produces extra gases after eating their food. And if they do Zoomie, and guys, I'm not a vet, so if there's an exact term of what actually happens scientifically in the body, I'm probably wrong, but I just know the general gist of it. So gases get produced after a dog eats, and when they run and express their energy right after, it can create bloat, which actually is like very, very, very life-threatening to dogs. Some dogs can even expire within 30 minutes after getting bloat if they don't get the dog to the vet quick enough. So for me, it's a medical reason why we don't allow Zoomies after they eat. So how do I prevent that? Well, one, I'm controlling everything. So I have my food bowl. I bring them up to me. They sit. I drop the bowl, tell them break as they do, and maybe they just have a leash dragging on the ground, and maybe I just rest my foot on the leash at the very end without any pressure on it. And then when they're done eating, that instinct to go zoom outside to go potty, do their potty, zoom back inside, back and forth, it gets cut off right away just by my foot being put on the leash. And that doesn't mean that I'm done. They hit the leash and they're confused now because they still have all this energy and they don't know what to do with it. What's another really, really excellent way of getting out some energy? Training. Place pattern. Play, sit, good. Come sit good. Play, sit good. Come sit good. Let's go work. Back and forth, back and forth. You're helping them use the energy more efficiently. And then after a couple of seconds or even a couple of minutes of that, I'll probably take them outside to go potty. But on our command, we're going to do the potty. So I even still control the energy once the potty's over. We got to have some form of control over what they're doing. Otherwise, Zoomies is just like an uncontrolled expression of energy. It's just neurotic, crazy, happy, overexcited, crazy energy. Some dogs can use it when they're outside and we have no issues with it. But if they're inside, that's usually when I don't want it. So now let's go to our other stuff because we have some people love Zoomies. They're not necessarily bad. Yeah, okay. So some people were saying that they don't mind the Zoomies, they love Zoomies, they're not a bad thing. I don't mind that either. When I think of Zoomies and I think of productive Zoomies, it's like out in the backyard where they do like 30 seconds to a minute of just crazy maniacal running, My dog does them. She's 12. She's ancient. And she still has a blast every time she does them. My Pitty does them too. She's 10. And she has a blast when she does them. But there's a couple key factors that they do not do when they do Zoomies. One, they're outside. And sometimes off leash if we're in a controlled yard, controlled space. And then on leash if I'm at like the park or something. But it's never going to be on a training tool of any sort because I don't want them pulling against a training tool. That means they're self-correcting. It's usually on some kind of long leash. They're going back and forth, having a good time, and they're not slamming against the end of the leash. I'm not getting yanked off my feet. That's destructive Zoomies. That's not productive. It should be just more about the run and turning and circling and just having fun, just that big burst of energy. This is where it goes wrong in my mind, though. When I bring my dog inside and they do Zoomies and they're jumping off the back of my couch, they're running by, nipping at my clothes, biting at my elbow, grabbing at my fingers. That's destructive Zoomies. I don't want that. We don't want a dog nipping at us and jumping off our furniture. It's destructive because it's an unbridled, uncontrolled release of energy. And truly, you have no control over it whatsoever. Take your dog in the backyard, have him do a little bit of Zoomies, and can I be like, hey, come, good. Handful of food, break, and they kind of go off and run and do their thing again. Do I have control over that energy? Can I stop it if I need to? If you can, you have controlled Zoomies. That's productive use of energy release. That's not terrible. It's not great either, but it's not harming your dog or their training whatsoever. In the house though, I've had dogs try to jump off the back of the couch, get a leg caught, and break their leg trying to jump over it. There's things that they can get in trouble with. So our job is to keep them as safe as possible and help them do a controlled burst of energy in a designated area that you guys control. So that's my big thing with Zoomies is, no, we don't mind them, but they have to be controlled to some degree. Usually leash is my best way of doing that. And you can do a long leash.
A live question?
Is it a follow-up to that?
No.
Oh, I'll answer it though. Is it a live question? No? All right, I'll still answer it. Why not?
They want to know, is it too late to train a puppy at 8 months?
Is it on TikTok or Instagram?
Instagram.
Oh, okay, so I don't have it. All right, hello. Is it too late to train a puppy at 8 months? No, any puppy can get trained, but that's not a puppy anymore. That's an adolescent dog. So that's like saying your kid is a little kid, but they just turned 17. So they're like they're in the teens now. They're about to be 18 years old. They're about to have to start making some real big life decisions. Are you growling? What are you growling at? Are you snorting? I can't tell if you're growling or snorting. I actually think he was snorting. What was the question again? 8 months. Yeah, no, so you don't really have a puppy anymore, so it would just change a bit of the training you're doing. We've had some 8, 9, 10-month-old dogs even join our online school, and really all it does is it changes the type of advice that we give them. Are you snorting?
Yes.
It is very distracting, my goodness. You're going to focus on all your basic obedience like any puppy would work on, but you're going to find yourself doing more firm body blocks, more firm turn-ins to redirect them away from a dog or a distraction. And when I say more firm, with puppies, I'll spend 4 months building up to an outside walk around any kind of distraction setting. With an older dog, you're going to be able to get out there quicker, but you also hold them more accountable. If they go to jump on you, you're not doing a simple redirect. You're stepping and giving a more firm body block, a little bump, saying no more firmly as well, redirecting away, and then working through it like you would for any puppy. But the addressing of the issues is a little bit more firm. But all of this still comes down to you got to have foundation work. If I tell my puppy, no, don't do something, and I'm being mean about it, I better have, to be meanest about it especially, I better have such a strong foundation that if I tell my puppy no for doing something, they should already know their default to go run on play, sitting down, calm and relaxed. And it's not emotional, it's just firm. The more firm you are, the better foundation and base you have to your training. So if we have a young puppy, we're building that base over a much longer period of time than I would for an 8-month-old dog who I hold more accountable after even 3 to 4 weeks of training them. Hopefully that answered it. But yes, any dog can be trained. I trained a 12-year-old dog last month to learn how to walk on the leash. It pulled for 12 years of its life until it collapsed its trachea, and I was still able to rehabilitate the dog's training on an easy walk to be able to walk and follow food. So any dog can be trained, no problem. It just sometimes takes longer. Sometimes you got to be a little bit more firm, and sometimes you actually got to be a little bit more soft and relaxed depending on their energy level. If they're a more dominant dog, I'm probably going to be a little bit more firm with them. If they're a softer, more like playful dog, I can be a little bit softer with them with a couple little like spikes of like really strong leadership in there to help create an understanding with them. So you just got to match the personality of the dog. I'm going to answer one of these guys first. All right, this is from Justin. How would you recommend potty training an 8-week-old lab in a college dorm? I would rather not use potty pads, although I do have a turf pad, same thing as a potty pad. For him to potty on, concerned about parvo when he's outside. I don't know if you're like literally on the college dorms. I know most dorms don't have access to the outside from like the actual dorm, like most of them don't have patios. I think there was some law that was passed for that. But if you have access to a patio, then your potty turf is totally fine. But if you're putting the turf inside the house, you're already using potty pads. It's the exact same thing because there's an enzyme that they put on the bottom of the pad, like right below the actual turf part. There's like a scent pad they use. It's the same scent they put on potty pads to make them want to go pee on it. So you're virtually already doing the same thing. How do you make it so you don't have to use a potty pad at all? For an 8-week-old lab, man, that's like a puppy that's almost still in the whelping box. Whelping boxes are basically just boxes of newspaper that they pee and poop in all over the place, and they basically just switch out the padding like 5-6 times a day. I don't recommend that for you because when you don't have a breeder set up, it's going to be a little bit different for them. But I think what I'd be doing with them is if I'm trying to get that puppy outside and I'm on the 4th or 5th floor, that means every 45 minutes to an hour, I'm riding that elevator down, holding my puppy to the bottom floor, give him a chance to go potty. You got to find something that's controlled though. You got to find a spot that not that many dogs are using and not that many critters are using. It's honestly pretty tough to find. I've even known people that take potty pads or turf stretches, like turf, 2x2 of turf, down to the grass downstairs, and they like put the turf down, have the dog pee on the turf, but on the real grass, so they're still getting the smells of the grass. But yeah, if you live in a dorm and you're not on the first level, you are going outside every 45 minutes to an hour. And it even kind of leads me to one of my other questions. Someone was asking how often they got to take out a 12-week puppy, 12-week-old puppy for potty, and how long they can hold it, what the schedule looks like. You know, a 10-week-old puppy. I'm going to tie Ashley Nicole Collin into this question because she was asking what should a normal crate containment schedule look like for a 10-week-old puppy. You guys are in pretty much the same exact boat. Puppies are going in the crate for 45 minutes to an hour. It's really just how long they can hold it for. And when they come out of the crate, you pick them up, you take them to an area that you know is secure. I can't vouch for any area that you guys have around your house because I don't know how secure it is. If you don't trust it, then you are probably going to be using potty pads for the next couple weeks, at least until they're at 12 or 14 weeks and they have their final round of DHPP. A lot of vets will also say rabies as well. That's kind of up to you guys. I know a lot of vets that will say final round of DHPP and rabies isn't necessary unless you're going around other dogs and they're playing with other dogs. But I would say last round of DHPP, 12 weeks, 14 weeks, so you could start getting them down that grass patch. And then you just want to kind of look for areas that not a lot of dogs are frequenting. So if you go right outside the dorm door, everyone's using that part for their dogs to potty. I'm probably picking up my potty, walking maybe 100 paces off to the side in an area that's in the sun that people aren't going to go to because they're seeking out shade right now for their dogs. And that's where I try to get my dog to go potty. But you're doing that about 12, 13, 14 times a day. So just know that if that is too much for you guys, potty pad, turf, whatever you guys choose. If you do have an outdoor patio, there are companies, I know Amazon, I think there's also one called 1-800-GRASS that will actually deliver turf patches to your house that are real grasses, and they put them in this tin, and they basically bring you a new patch every 2 weeks to a month, up to 2 months, up to 3 months. So there's a couple different options for that one. But that's what I'd check out if you aren't trying to go outside every single time. And then did that answer it for Ashley? Crate containment schedule look like? Ashley, for your crate containment schedule for a 10-week-old puppy, I'd probably be looking at about 45 minutes to an hour. 10-week actually? No, I do an hour in the crate. 30 minutes max of free time. You might even have to cut that down a little bit. Most puppies aren't going to last that long. And make sure you give your puppy structure even when they're doing free time. Free time isn't freedom to roam, do whatever they want. It's free time, but also structured time. I'm doing walk and play, I'm doing training, I'm doing supervised separation, I'm helping them establish boundaries and rules when they're out of that crate. I'm showing them what I want from them in the next 2 years when they're fully trained and I'm no longer crating them all throughout the day. They're getting a couple stretches here and there. So whatever you want your puppy to do in the future, that's what you're training them to do now. So that's usually work out the big energy with your walk and play, create some of that mental energy, or work through some of that mental energy with training, and then help them settle in their playpen or on their dog bed right next to you with supervised separation. And then a little bit of water and food, back to the crate, rinse and repeat. And just make sure you get a potty every single time you take them out of that crate. And if they don't, it's totally fine if they go back to the crate for a couple minutes. Are you done, sir? You just want to go out there, say hi to your friends? All right, Paxter's done. See you, bud. Why are you wiggling? Stop wiggling. Good boy. See you, bud. Oh, we're doing good on time. All right. This is from Chloe Talbot. Keep your own routine the same with the new pup. I don't know what that means. Keep your own routine the same with the new pup. I'm going to just go with what I think you mean, which is if you get a new pup, are you going to keep the same exact schedule with the new pup that you had with your old pup? It depends on what your goals are. Did your older pup that is no longer with us, did they have the right structure? How were they when they were a puppy? If they were more rambunctious, then I'd add more schedule or add more routine, add more structure to it. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't really know how to answer that question. Chloe Talbot, if you're on, please give me a follow-up. Hopefully Kimberly sees it and she can let me know what your follow-up is. But give me a little bit more information for that, please. From Clara Charles Long. 4.5-month-old Cavapoo seems to have hit puberty early. Crate regression, biting, ignoring us. Go back to your basics! What does that mean for you? So, 4.5-month-old Cavapoo, that's not early. You have 3 stages of adolescence, guys. You have 4 to 6 months, 8 to 10 months, and 12 to 16 months on average. Every dog is a little bit different though. But 4.5 months just means that she is hitting the more difficult part of the stage early. So what I would do is go back to your basics. So when I'm on a schedule, how closely are you following the schedule? I just gave one version of it, but that means I'm very strictly following in the crate for this amount of time. There's no breaks. It never gets out early. They can go longer, but never earlier. And then when they come out of the crate, I give the 3 parts of free time that I just mentioned a second ago: walk and play, training, supervised separation. And then I do my water and my food, and then they're back in the crate. But all of that free time is on leash. It's never just freedom to roam and do whatever they want, because the more a dog does what they want, guess what, guys? They're making rules for themselves when they do it. And then later on, you want to add a rule. Hey, you're no longer allowed to jump on the couch because the dog trainer guy said we can't. No, dog's not going to follow that because they make the rules in your house. So you got to think of it that way. If they're allowed to make rules, why wouldn't they make all the rules? The more permissive we are with our dogs, the more they're going to push your boundaries when you implement them. So how do we implement boundaries and reinforce them? They're always on leash. We always have some semblance of control, but that doesn't mean that we're being dictators of the puppy. No, I got my training pouch on me. I got food on me at all times. I got my leash. I'm not just going to be like, hey, we're going this way and dragging my puppy across the floor. It's, hey, let's go. Food to the side, maybe drop a couple pieces to get them to start following, and then using food to get the continuous follow. It's only 30 minutes of free time when they're out of the crate. 4.5 months, maybe you're up to like an hour. I wouldn't really do it over an hour and a half, and especially if I'm getting a new level of independence from them where they're pushing, ooh, that was a nice word, independence instead of stubborn puppy. Independently stubborn puppy. You're getting that new version of them. They're hitting adolescence. You're probably going back down to maybe 30 to 40 minutes of free time. More crate time when you go through adolescence because they need more downtime. They need to rest. They need to relax. Their body's growing. They're having changes go through their body. They need more downtime to settle. And then when they come out, they need better structure from us and more routine structure to get them back in their groove. Jumping up and nipping, all that, you can use leash pressure. That's why we have a leash on them. They go to jump at me. They go to nip at my heel. I can pick up leash. No. Sorry, you can't really see that arm. No, settle down, arm goes up and out, not lifting the body off the ground, just enough so their front paws are touching, but the head is up. When the head stays up and the front paws are touching, most dogs are going to do this. Back step, go into a sit, and you want to slowly release your pressure. If you go up quick, down quick, that's a correction. That's like a pop. That's like a pop for a dog, a little tug release. We're not trying to do that, guys. It's actually slow and methodical. Dog goes to nip. No. Settle down. They sit for me. Good. Slow release. See how that lands. Dog is kind of looking at me, about to jump again. I'll wait till they take that step. Hey, settle down. Pressure again. Most of the time I'm doing that 2 or 3, maybe even 4 times in a row until I can get them to back off and settle. And I'm looking for that moment with their eyes stop being this and go to, and they take a breath. That's when I'm gonna reach in my pouch, grab a handful of kibble, puppy come, place, sit down, good. No food yet. They're still in the mentality of wanting to jump and nip. You gotta work them through a bit more of that. Come, play, sit down. Come, play, sit down. Now they're going from to and just watching. And you know what your dog looks like when they're being obedient. It's like a very special look. The pupils aren't dilated. You don't see whale eye where it looks like you have a whole bunch of the white surrounding the eye because their eyes are open wide. It's just more of that neutral look, but giving you good focus. That's when you can start giving food. This is how I redirect dogs into a more calm state through that. I don't even remember what the original question was. What was the original question? Did I go on a tangent, Kimberly? Oh, no, okay. Crate regression, biting, ignoring us. Yeah, go back to your basics, guys. Do everything I just mentioned. Try it out. Check in with us next week. Let us know how it goes.
There's a live question that's coming. Do you want to answer one?
Yeah, where is it from?
Instagram.
Well, I'm going to go with TikTok one first because I already did one Instagram question.
I don't know if TikTok's in the same.
Kylie Leonard. Yes, you may ask a question. Please ask it. Ricky, are you watching it right now? It's super laggy. Is that just my phone or is that yours too?
It's always like that. What do you mean?
It's literally going slow, like slow motion. Okay. Hey guys, if anyone's seeing the video in slow motion right now, please let us know. Just give us a thumb or say slow motion. Okay. TikTok, let us know if it's going ultra slow because mine shows it going ultra slow.
There's a 10-week-old puppy question on Instagram.
Okay, I got Kylie Leonard. Puppy will scream entire crate time, even 80 minutes, no settling. You do not have the normal separation anxiety. That is not the same thing as what I've preached in other sessions where I say, yeah, just ignore them. They'll kind of get over it after a few minutes. The key is a few minutes, like 10 to 15 minutes of like loud barking or yelling at me. I know it's just frustration. They'll eventually work through it. And then usually they stop after that 15 minutes. You do not have that. You have a very different version of that. You have what we call crate anxiety, which is very specific. There's no easy advice I can give you. There's things you could try out that I can give you, but honestly, your best bet is to hire a professional to do one-on-one training in your home with you because there's routine after routine after routine you got to follow. There's probably a good portion of the affection you give your dog a day that you have to eliminate and replace with some kind of training routine. So I don't want it to sound like I'm being mean by giving you all this like really, really mean advice. That's why I'm not even going into it. I think it's better if you get some more context from a private one-on-one trainer who's going to come into your home and actually help you specifically with the anxiety your dog is feeling. So I'm not brushing you off. I'm just telling you that you should probably find a one-on-one trainer that does some kind of behavioral modification training, balanced dog training. That's the best bet for you guys. All right, what do we have for Instagram? I don't have Bethany to read off her phone. All right, this is from, am I reading Natalie's? Mm-hmm. This is from Natalie, 6-month-old Wheaten Terrier, loudly barks on leash when he sees other dogs on morning walks. What do I do in that moment? Redirect him with commands and treats and then continue to work on socialization later. If your dog is barking, you're not working on socialization at all. You need to create more relationship with you guys. You need to have a stronger foundation with him before you're even getting ready to socialize. Let me just read it one more time. So, reading, should we continue work on socialization later? I'm curious what you're doing with your dog. Are you allowing them to walk up and see dogs? And if so, that might actually be creating the barking without you realizing it. So dogs have a lot of reasons for barking. Sometimes it's overexcitement. Sometimes it's feeling a little bit more suppressed. So they bark as a way of like a coping mechanism for the fear they feel to like ward off other dogs. But if we're actively working on socialization, when I'm teaching socialization to a dog, there actually is no contact with another dog. There's no nose to nose. There's no interaction like that on leash specifically. Dog play dates, completely different. That's like in a controlled yard, a controlled space, letting them off the leash, letting them socialize and say hello, and then kind of breaking apart the play every couple seconds just to help them understand what you're looking for. What walking is more about is I do a lot of my walks when I start puppy training inside my home, living room, living room, hallway, backyard, front yard. And the reason I do that is because I want to be able to have my dog walking on my driveway, see a dog, they're getting ready to look and hyper focus on the dog, and I'm already doing my let's go, step back slightly to the side to redirect the focus. They're able to look away. I can't give my dog food because they don't care about it in the moment. All they care about is the dog, or they take the food and go back to barking. We don't want a reward for that. You want to walk them away from the dog as far as you need to go in order for them to stop looking, stop barking, and starting to give you a little bit more focus. When you can put food in front of your dog's nose and actually draw their focus up to you, then you're far enough away. It's what we call being below threshold. Threshold is like a little doorway in your dog's brain that when it's fully open, they're just rampaging forward and they're pulling you to their heart's content, and it doesn't matter what you're asking, what you do. When they're below threshold, that door is closed and just open a crack. That means that they're able to give you focus, but it's still a struggle for them. You're trying to work them below threshold in the beginning in order to build up more focus and more food drive. If I can't get my dog to focus on me and do a sit with the dog 300 feet away that they just looked at and I was able to redirect them, if they can't keep that focus on me, you're not ready to greet any dogs on your walk. I'd probably be looking at being able to get a sit and a stay with my dog with food with dogs 20 feet away, and I'm working from 300 feet all the way that 20 feet. And when I can finally get my dog to sit by my side 10 to 20 feet away from another dog for food, and I can keep some semblance of focus, even that means I redirect the focus back up after they've looked, then you're at a step to where the next level would be walking up, approaching, having your dog sit, giving a couple little body blocks with your leg, step in front of them a couple times until they back off, and when they somewhat settle, then we're doing possibly a greeting. And usually it still wouldn't be between another dog. That'd be for like human greetings. I don't think I'd let other dogs say hi on the walk because one, they tend to pull really hard. They tend to stress their neck and whatever tool they're wearing. Even harness can really press into the bottom of the trachea. So I personally don't do on-leash greetings with dogs, and I'm not going to recommend them either. Please send us a follow-up if you have one. Oh, this is a good one. So we had our free potty training power hour a while ago, and someone asked, will you be doing another class? We just got our second Great Dane, and we are having the hardest time potty training her. She is 11 weeks old, not responding to any potty training tools. We won't probably do one for another year, but all of our potty training power hours are in our online school. And we actually have 3 people right now that joined our online school through the free potty training power hour because they wanted a bit more information. And they're able to ask all their questions about the free potty training power hour on our 4 p.m. live on Wednesday. We do a live every single Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific time for all of our online school students. It's an hour long versus the 30 minutes of it here. And it's a lot more specific to the needs of your dog. So if you guys are looking for that, check out the online school. We have all of our replays of that. Everything's there. Am I out of questions? No way. No, technically got a minute left. Do we? Okay, I'm going to go for one more here. How can I get my dog to relax outside his cage on his bed? Have a leash on him, teach place command. Oh, you already wrote that, teach place command. You got to teach a place command first, guys, because most time if your dog is outside on his bed, what's the thing keeping him there? It's not his want to be there unless he's a lazy dog, but it sounds like from this question it's probably not. He has to either want to be there or he has to be lazy. The want is created by you guys with food. Teach a place command. Food to the nose, come, place, sit, good, treat, break, release for food. Do that a couple dozen times and then start adding a little bit more duration at the end of the command. So at the end of the place, sit, good, pause, and then treat. Add a bit more duration. Good treat, a bit more duration, good treat. When that's locked in, you can stand right in front of them the whole time and they're just locked and dialed into that sit. Then take one step away, one step in, good treat. My step is not fast either, guys. It's not flowy and beautiful. It's good, then pouch, and then treat. Good. Pouch, treat. It's slow. It's incredibly methodical in order to keep the energy at a low enough level that they still want to respond to it. All right, I think that's all I got, right?
Can you please help out Ashley Nicole on Instagram?
Ashley Nicole, where are you?
Just because she's got little kids and a new puppy.
I have an Aussiedoodle, 10-week-old, chewing on other children ages 4 and 2. Can you please give me advice to keep them both safe? I keep her crated and has use a playpen all day long. So I think you need to tighten up your schedule a little bit. I don't think the playpen is your go-to for that one. Is there more? Is there a follow-up? Scroll up. I'm going to read everything.
Yeah, her son's bled today from the dog.
I crate and put in the playpen and try to make sure they're never alone together. Okay. I see what you're doing. All right, I'm going to give you my crate schedule, guys. So anytime I'm trying to really help my kids and my dogs understand their roles together, there's probably not going to be much time where they're alone together, if any, for now at least. But let's talk about what we do with our puppy. So puppies in the crate, we're going to get her on a tight schedule. You need a tight schedule because you're going to have your kids on a tight schedule as well. The looser you allow your kids to be, the tighter your puppy has to be. The tighter you make your puppy, the looser you're allowed to keep your kids. So that's something I always try to tell people is there can't be loose for both parties, and it's best to have tight structure for both parties. When we bring our dog out of the crate, the first thing you do is obviously take him out for the potty. You give the free time window. If your dog is not on leash, you got to get him on a leash. That's one of the biggest things we need. Because when a dog is on a leash, you have leverage, guys. You have control over what they're going to do. They go to chase down your kid. It's as easy as stepping on a leash and picking it up. But I might even take that to the next step. And if I'm doing my walk and play, maybe 10 minutes. Give me an age for the puppy. Say an age. 10-week-old. Okay, so I'm only doing 30 minutes max of free time for a 10-week-old puppy because anything past that, they're already getting cranky. You know how I know if I have a cranky puppy? They're jumping, nipping, and biting at me. But I've already done my walk and my play. I've done my training. So I've done everything they need physically and mentally to be a balanced dog. And after doing everything I need to do, they're still trying to bite and jump on my kids. That's a cranky puppy. Guys, puppies should be sleeping 16 to 20 hours a day. And believe you me, under 4 months old, or I think it's actually under 3 months old, it's supposed to be like 18 to 21 hours a day. What's that sound like to you guys? A baby. It sounds like a newborn baby. Because yes, they're moving around a lot more than a newborn would, but they still have the mentality of a newborn baby. So that means crate, quiet room. That's like your crate in your crib inside of your nursery. And then that's you helping them calm their brain and actually settle themselves down. So when you bring them out, you have a fresh slate. It's like a fresh slate, clean slate. Clean slate. We call those Sparkyisms. So it's about giving them a clean slate. So then you have the right amount of energy to do your walk and play. You have the correct amount of focus for your training. And then when you're doing supervised separation, this is the most important one in my mind specifically for this issue. If I have my puppy in a playpen, what are they doing in the playpen? Are they constantly trying to jump up? Or am I allowing my kids into the playpen with them? If any of this was a yes, now make it a no. Kids aren't allowed in the playpen. That's my time. That's my dog's time to be calm, relax, and learn the ability to self-settle. When they're in the playpen, I don't look at them, I don't talk to them, and I don't touch them. That is literally their existence time to learn how to exist on their own, to not need something from us. Also, it's at the end of their free time window. So if I'm going to get nipped at, jumped at, or bit at, it's going to be in that last 10 minutes because that's when they're going to either become the most cranky and start going to sleep in there, getting ready for their next hour or hour and a half of crate time. But that's when they're going to be the most frustrated. So just make sure that when your puppy is out of the crate, one, you always have a leash on them, and you're really following a tight schedule. They have to have a lot of things given to them in order for them to be balanced. They have to have the right amount of exercise without overdoing it. Probably about 5-6 minutes of play, and that's it. They can't really do much more than that. They get overstimulated. They tend to get like little baby shark mode and a little bit more nippy. When I'm doing training, I got a 10-week-old puppy. Gosh, I'd be surprised if I can get past 8-9 minutes. If I'm at 8 minutes and my puppy's starting to slow down and get more distracted by people doing other things, I'm like, all right, that's a good time to end. Let's end on a good note. And now let's do our playpen time. If my dog's jumping up on the playpen, barking at me, whining at me, crying at me. That's not even gonna work. We have to just put him back in the crate. Some dogs can handle playpen, some dogs can't. It's just too long of being awake. If they can't handle playpen, you get more frustration, you get more of that barky whininess. I'm just gonna put him back in the crate and I'm gonna skip that supervised separation time until probably maybe 2 weeks later, and I'll try it again when they're a little bit older, a bit more mature. I see a follow-up. I'll just answer the follow-up. Oh, okay. Well, okay.
Try this crate schedule.
Try it out. Oh yeah, if you're not on crate schedule yet, that is my go-to. That is literally the bread and butter of what makes puppies understand what we want from them. All right, guys, perfect. All right, so we're gonna end now, and just a recap, we have our Wednesday, September 4th at 1:45 Pacific time, our next live Ask a Vet show, and that one will be with me. And it probably will not be as good as Bethany's was because I'm not as good of an actor as she is. But it's going to be...
It's about acting. It's about asking questions.
Yeah.
Bethany's really good at acting though too. Okay, whatever you guys say. Bethany will be better. It's okay though. It's going to be about puppies' teeth, preventive dental health care for puppies, and you guys can submit questions during that live if you want them asked. We had a couple people ask questions, and we had some like really good bangers of questions last time. So please feel free to join and ask those questions. All right, guys, bye. Oh, I'm just going to do an awkward wave.